Hey there guys, this is KAuss back again. This is not too long from the last video, however, another day, another item, and the reason why I'm making this video today is not really an update for the build itself, but like I said, the last video, when I find other items, this is gonna be a party time, and luckily for me, I have a sister that gets amazing luck, because outside of finding the axe that I shown you guys in the other video, the two-hander with the amazing life on hit, I haven't found much of anything else. Then my sister played today, and before all the server resets and whatnot, and by the time I came home, she had found this. Yeah, you're looking at a Scorn, and it's not the best rolled one. However, she gave me this because she's running a Demon Hunter and had no use for it. Put a crit gem in there, and it's been pretty interesting. Unfortunately, it didn't roll with any life on hit nor any life steal, but long story short is it's up my damage now to 72k. I've done a few changes to get it up to this point. However, as you can see, first and foremost, the crit damage has gone up to 367 with this item, and 36 crit chance. Try to support it as much as possible. I lowered armor and resist a little bit more, so right now my build is kind of topsy-turvy, because look at this, 22k, just because I'm playing around with a bunch of items right now. And not only did we find this today, my friend actually gone ahead and messaged me to another Demon Hunter that we run with regularly. He's found another item, this guy. This is not any better than the last amulet that I had. The only thing about it is kind of makes up for some of the lack of life on hit on this weapon, and because my damage is so ridiculous anyways, I could kind of sacrifice a little bit of DPS to achieve something like this. I don't have a gem in there yet because I'm just playing around with it. I mean, I'll probably give my friend some money for it. Usually when we find these pretty godly items with this kind of a life on hit roll or anything kind of semi-amazing, we allow each other to kind of keep it and make profit off of it, just so, you know, everybody's upgrading on their own pace. And I got money to spare, so I'll probably give my friend a little bit of money, just so I could go ahead and keep this as a spare, just in case I run into anything else amazing that this was synergized with. And of course, my old gear, you know, this was the amulet, and you can see it's quite a bit of boost in life and damage, and a lot of you still probably pick this guy here. I would too, but yeah, I don't like doing things normal. I like running around with crazy stuff, and 22k of HP in Act 3 is pretty crazy. And it's doing it for me right now, believe it or not, even in 3-player games. I do run into trouble if you're getting a vortex mob of any sort, because of the way that, you know, if they vortex me in a frozen, this life really can't tank much of anything, and my low life on hit means tornadoes don't heal me as much. Sometimes I could live through a frozen orb before, just purely from the tornado heals, but now I've gone ahead and made these changes. First and foremost, for those of you out there that stack crit chance, crit damage, pay attention to your crit chance and crit damage. When one gets higher than the other, value Ruthless and Weapon Master differently. Obviously, if your item is not an axe, Weapon Master does very little for you. If your item is basically an axe, a mace of some sort, Weapon Master, of course, as you know, is a 10% crit chance. Right now, crit chance for me is worth more in the current form than it is with crit damage, so Ruthless got swapped out for this, and of course you're looking at Bloodthirst as well. I told you guys in the last video, when I find a weapon worthy of it, I want to go ahead and use Life Steal as my main source of generation for life. This is getting me close to it. I wanted to get a belt. I didn't feel like dropping 10 mil on a belt still, and that's one of the bargain ones with life on or Life Steal right now, and high enough strength for me to wield it without, you know, too much of a sacrifice. Didn't want to go ahead and sacrifice that much money on something like that just for the sake of having fun. I kept the build pretty much the same. I tried running with Rend, and you guys probably go, "Wow, man, you got all that DPS, why not Rend it?" I tried Rend. The problem with Rend is I fought a demonic tremor mob, and you guys know how I feel about those mobs, and they usually don't give me much trouble. But with Rend, there is an animation. You know, it takes time for you to cast and finish casting that skill. And the problem with that is you get stuck for one, you know, like maybe that 1/10 of a second more than you need, and you get hit, and demonic tremors chain knockback you, so you can get caught in a pretty nasty situation. I think I could run Ren if I had more life, but you know, even with my sub-optimum gear, my optimum gear, I'm probably running around like 26k or something like that. It's not good enough for me to do it right now. So I gone back to overpower, and honestly guys, 35% reflected damage and ignore damage, it is huge. I mean, this makes up for, I would say, maybe like 3k armor, 300 res, honestly. It is a huge buff. And because I have all this crit going, I don't need anything else right now. Overpower is, like it said, it's overpowered. If you're not using this, you're missing out. I mean, it's almost as good as impunity, honestly. Run Like the Wind is still in the build. The crits from Run Like the Wind right now, I get like 32k. And Broad Sweep, I told you guys I wanted to switch to Cleave whenever I get the weapon worthy of it, and I'm loving it right now. I mean, I'm critting like 200k, basically just running around cleaving stuff. So it's been beautiful. Leap Iron Impact Impunity, so you know, nothing's changed there. So I gone ahead and done some other things too. My friend found this ring yesterday, and this is before I made the other video. So he found this, and I traded him my sister's old Demon Hunter ring, which is kind of like almost, I think, a trifecta, but it had a mad amount of dex with crit chance, crit damage as well, just equivalent to something like this, but it was more fitting for a Demon Hunter. Yeah, I run with a bunch of Demon Hunters, and basically he had given me this in a trade. I didn't want to feel, you know, like he just gave me something. Once again, this is something that I mutually would agree with him to have him sell on the market if he's not using it. However, I think it benefited me. I lost some resistances from my old ring. I decided, what the heck, more damage, you know, more fun. So I picked that up into my setup, and that's how I got the extra crit. Remember, it was 31 something. Now with Weapon Master, another 5%, it's boosting me up to 36. And just for laughs and, you know, shits and giggles, I got my old Andes. I'm gonna put on this, and I'm at 94, 516. And for a time, I even tried running without Superstition, and I gone with Where Are You, Ruthless. Guess what, guys? I am now up to 109k DPS without Battle Rage or Wrath of the Berserker. It's just a fun number to look at. It's not viable though. I mean, running like this, I get killed by anything with AoE. This here is pretty atrocious right now with the resistances. That's why I still go with my resist shoulders, my resist helm, and also I'm running around with this just because I like to, once again, do crazy stuff like running around with 23k life. I found this earlier today too, and this is the stuff that I'm finding, guys. This, you could make a, you know, good couple 100,000 just from that alone, maybe a couple million. I don't like to wait. I just like to sell things as soon as I get them, because I get stashes of stuff, man. When I'm running, I keep all kinds of garbage, and I'm getting things like these here. You know, these are all sellable, and I just don't have the time to even bother with it. My sister found this too, and I'm telling you, if you guys want to tip me real money, I'll go ahead and give you her name, and you can friend her and see if you can leech off of some of her finds. But it's pretty amazing. I mean, you know, I got stashes full of stuff that could be going on the auction house right now. So I know you guys are probably wondering, well, with all this stuff, what's your kill speed like? It's amazingly, I would say, underwhelming compared to what it was. And just let's go out there and stir up some trouble. I don't know. I mean, I'm critting, you know, pretty good crits, like 242. They're just from a cleave. But what I want to show is actually, let me go ahead and turn down the damage values. Although you guys might want to see that. But what I want to show actually with this is, let's not do damage. I just want to show the healing capability. If you guys find a Scorn, because that is one of the biggest things. I just want to turn crit off too. Well, let's keep crit on, because, you know, that's something you guys want to see. Just turn damage off. So if you guys get lucky, and honestly speaking, I mean, I found, and you know, don't think I haven't found anything else. I found a one-hander, legendary one-hander for my sister, 1k one-hander with 900 plus life on hit. So she gone from a 200 to that. We're waiting on a second item to drop to kind of give her a dual yield setup. Maybe that, or an amazing shield, so upper survivability. So we got a lot of things we're playing with. The friend that gave me the 600 something life on hit amulet, he's running a stun build, which is pretty interesting. And he's kind of re-tanked. He was a tank DH for us, and he's kind of up this tank ability, and he's re-tanking again. Ooh, this is nasty here. But I don't know if you guys can see through the KAuss, but whenever I'm charging through stuff like this, I'm getting about 3k worth of heals, and it's capped probably because I haven't taken 3k's worth of damage, so the potential is actually higher than this. And once again, guys, I'm running around with 22,000 life. This is not a elite pack of any sort, but I'm pretty sure, like always, I will find one, you know, lurking about if I just run around long enough. And even still, most of you will probably have trouble with just white mobs with this kind of a life. But I mean, charges are critting for 250 right now. And you just do have to be careful with this still, because you do take a lot of damage from the lower resistances from some of the pieces I choose to run with. But it's fun. You know, I'm just gonna run around a few more laps here. Just want to fight one elite mob just to show you a little bit more of you can achieve with more luck. Scorns right now, I just checked the auction house just in case. I still keep my backup two-hander. I gave my one-hander away to a barb friend of mine. He's the only other guy in my play group that mains a barb, so he gets a lot of my hand-me-downs. Lucky him. And yeah, I kept my second one or two-hander because I don't think I'm ever going to need to go back to a one-hander after this. I'm just too spoiled by the extra damage. And with the way the game plays out right now, I'm still hunting for a life on hit light steel weapon. With that, I'm gonna do some amazing things. And today I played around with Ren, like I was telling you guys. Not happy with the control that you get with Ren. But what I would like to do is do a seismic slam build. That's still my goal. I want to use the rumble rupture AoE. And the AoE itself, it's going to replace sprint because it's going to have 60% weapon damage on the AoE effect. And these guys here, actually, be careful because they do hurt. I was playing around today, and yeah, if I took out Overpower in that fight, you will see me die. That's the reason why I still have Overpower here. And, you know, I'm running around with 72k DPS with the Enchantress. In single player, I would say things die too quickly to give me trouble. I played 3 players today, a little bit of 4 player, and it was hairy because things don't die as quickly. And I think right now, if I play single player, life on death will be a pretty, I would say, silent buff for when you're just regularly running around, because things die so quickly. So you might want to, you know, if you run into something lucky like this, it don't have to be a Scorn. Honestly, guys, rares, you could roll a rare pretty much as good as this. The only thing about the Scorn is that it gives you the guaranteed rolls, you know, like the crit chance, or the crit damage roll. It gives you the bleed, which is underwhelming. I've done some tests, and I believe the bleed damage on this weapon, it's one of the lower rolls, but it's basically giving you about 700 damage per bleed stack, and it does stack. I've seen it stack as high as 3,000, and it's underwhelming. So, you know, like I said, you don't have to look for a Scorn. But then again, if you're buying something rare with the kind of stats a Scorn will give you, you're going to expect to pay a lot for it. Scorns, I think, are easier to find, though. Once my sister dropped it with the question marks, I noticed it right away what it was, and saw the last blue pack there. It's ridiculously melted. So Paragon levels now, I believe, is going to be a lot easier for me to grind. I don't have to worry too much about anything with this kind of a DPS. Titers, not going to be a problem anymore. So the goal of this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to, obviously, you know, hopefully somewhere in the near future, stop doing ridiculous stuff like this and get some actual of it. If I could boost it up to 50k, I'm gonna start playing with the spenders more. Then I'm gonna incorporate Stomp. Now, Stomp is gonna be the key to a slow Fury, I would say hungry build. You want to have that control. You want to have Retching Slam, put them in a spot where your AoEs are going to crush them. I would also, like, on the side, if I wasn't using Seismic Slam, maybe use Hammer of the Ancient. And in my last video, I had a rant about how useless they were. And they kind of are, because you need supporting gear to make up the deficit of their weaknesses. Same thing with Ren, you know, you're standing in place, so Vit is going to be that buffer, or effective hit points is going to be that buffer. So I'm going to be on a crossroads of what I'm going to swap out. Obviously, if I have Stomp, that replaces me getting hit, so Overpower is the first one to go. At the other point too is I could probably just start face tanking stuff instead of swapping this out. Probably put Stomp in place of Sprint, because I'm looking to dominate and kill before I even have to make a decision to run. And you know, depending on how things go, when I find the gear, I'm gonna make another video, but today I just want to go ahead and throw this on there because this has been freaking fun. You know, for shits and giggles, let's do this. Let's do a little bit more of running, oops, but with my regular gear. And let's, you know what, let's do this too. Let's take off Superstition. Let's get a little bit crazy, because I do have 33k life with all this gear, mostly from my shoulders and my helm. Let's go full 106. And you know what, let's do this too. Yeah, you guys know what I'm doing. Let's go Insanity, and instead of Sprint, let's go put in Battle Rage, shall we? And oops, what the heck am I doing? Marauder's Rage. Okay, so I'm gonna have to obviously go out there and find something to kill. And I'm sorry, this is dragging on. I'm stupid. Should have just picked a waypoint, roll with it. Okay, so let's go over here. I am gonna die. I'm gonna let you guys know right now, because I've tried this earlier. It's not fun. More fury. And these guys will hurt me. Everything basically hurts me. I don't have Overpower here now to tank stuff, so I just have to be a little bit extra careful. Ah, I forgot I don't have Sprint. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of a slow walk. No mobs up here, so let's go backtrack a bit. I just wanna go ahead and see, you know, what 100 and something K. So I'm at 148k, and that's before Wrath of the Berserker. So hang tight, guys. This is gonna be pretty cool. There was a Monk video on Reddit that basically gone, I think, 1.2 million with 7-sided strikes, so that was pretty cool to watch. This is pop this right now, 700, and that's not charged, so 600 there. Yeah, this is pretty cool, but I don't think this is gonna be viable. Oh, why did I pop that earlier? It would be cool to just kill these guys. Yeah, you see, this is why you have to run with Sprint. I mean, basically, when you don't run with Sprint, you run into orbs and stuff like that, you're gonna get nailed by them. Especially if they're a blue pack, because all of them get to cast individually their frozen orbs. And yeah, I'm just getting lucky here that I'm not dying, guys, honestly. Because this is not something that I would choose to run with. And this is why I don't run with Wrath of the Berserker, you know. You meet a mob, you meet a second mob, and this happens. And that's amazing, they died. I didn't. So let's see if we get lucky again. Find another mob that do the same thing. Well, this is intriguing. Well, there we go. We got a pop potion there. No heals available. Oh, I am so dying to this mob. Well, let's see. Well, there we go. And you see, Wrath of Berserker's still not back, and there we go. So that's just a little run through with the extra damage there, just to show you guys. But this pack would actually still be pretty easy with the original build that I've shown you guys. I mean, I know it's a lot less damage, but survivability once again comes first. And believe it or not, like I said, the extra hit point didn't help. So if you played the build right in Bulldozer, Vitality's not a problem. You just have to know how to change your build to your gear. And that's the most important thing a lot of people don't understand. Now, one thing that I do have planned, I might actually get started right after this video here, is I'm going to go and do a comprehensive breakdown on not Bulldozer builds anymore, just in general barb skills. On my 1.0.4 video, I left with a little rant, and I left with some ideas, and some people caught on to it, and they gave me a few comments on it, and they you know, were intrigued. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and break down the entire barb skill tree, I'm going to talk about the positives, the negatives, some synergies. So for anybody inspiring to do their own build in the future, you can get a head start and understand it a little bit more if you're casual. If you're hardcore, but you kind of played with the build and kind of haven't ventured out, especially after the changes 1.0.4, maybe give you some insight. I don't have any idea how I'm going to plan to do it. I'm going to probably wing it, but I have some ideas in my head, so it's going to be a few-parter. I'm going to probably break up spenders, fury generators, might, and things like that, and the 2-minute cooldowns in their own segment. And then overall, in the end, I'm going to encapsulate everything and talk about how to build a skill set, how to make a build work, and things of that nature. So what you saw here is a pretty horrible example. This is just for show, for those people on DiabloProgress.com to up their DPS and things like that. And there's guys up there with all kinds of buffs up to 1,000,000 DPS. I don't think I'm gonna ever reach that anytime soon, but 100 and something pre-buff. Pretty proud of it. It's been a wild adventure in 1.0.4 so far. Server issues has kept me playing for most of this day, which I'm pretty saddened by. I do have work early tomorrow. It's already 4:20 in the AM, so I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and there should be more to come if the drop rates continue and if my sister keeps playing. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.